Asylum seeker who raped homeless woman praised by a judge for being a good prisoner. Now this story is absolutely fucking ludicrous. This isn't the actual video that I was going to do today, but when I went on to have a look for some prison stories, as I say, I've got a prison app that gives you the latest prison news, and the first headline that came up was this, and when I read it I thought, wow, I was absolutely shocked, and I thought this needs to be told on this channel so people can see what is actually fucking going on. It is absolutely outrageous. A judge praised an asylum seeker who raped a woman in a park in West London. Why the fuck would a judge praise an asylum seeker? And guess what? It was a female judge. I will tell you the story in a moment, but I'm just going to give you a little brief intro before I tell you what's actually in the article. And this despicable, horrible wronging, which should get no praise whatsoever. I've never known anything like this before. This is the reason I'm bringing this story to you on here, because when you're getting sentenced by a judge after you've either been found guilty or you're getting sentenced, that judge isn't easy on you. When that judge sentences you, that judge doesn't praise you. That judge absolutely that's the way I'm going to say it, absolutely ridicules you and gives you the full fucking treatment, the full punishment. Obviously you've been sentenced for a crime and the judge is sentencing you. As when I got sentenced by a judge, you were fucking branded, or I was, I'm talking about my time, branded the worst of the worst. And it was nothing like this fucking case. My case was me and another lad from my local area in an altercation which I took to the next level. That was what I got sentenced for. Someone like-minded who was like myself. Not an innocent homeless woman in a park. So Ismat Ullah, 28, was jailed for 15 years. At least he got 15 fucking years. After he was convicted of raping a homeless woman in a park in West London. He has been commended by a judge for his exemplary conduct in prison. Now this isn't the fucking best way, the worst of it. Exemplary conduct in prison. Ismat Ullah, who came to the UK from Pakistan on a student visa, was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment this month for the assault that took place in a West London park in April 2024. So if that was nearly 2 years ago, why has it took this long? He's obviously took it to trial, trying to get away with it, because he's trying to act out as though he was the fucking victim. During his trial at Isleworth Crown Court, during the trial, like a fucking hell, it gets worse. Judge Fiona Barry acknowledged the extreme violence used by the 28-year-old during the attack, but also lauded him for his good behaviour whilst incarcerated. The judge was informed Ullah is an enhanced prisoner, which affords him additional privileges such as extra spending money and increased visitation rights. The judge reportedly told Ullah that his time in custody must have been difficult for him. Boo fucking who? It's supposed to be difficult. You're in jail for doing a fucking horrid, absolute horrid crime against a poor homeless woman. I mean, if she's not going through enough, she's in a park, she's homeless. We don't know her background or her ethnicity, but what I can tell you is it definitely wouldn't have been an asylum seeker, because there is no homeless asylum seekers. They're all housed in top of the range hotels, while the UK citizens who are struggling are having to fucking live in parks and benches. And I've just seen one this morning, someone shared, living in tents outside of police stations, probably so they feel safe being next to it. While these wrong'uns, more so the ones that have come in illegally, are getting housed in hotels and being given everything. So when she says his time must have been difficult for him and recognised his conduct during this period, she stated, English is not your first language and you have had some difficulties with your mental health. Boo fucking who. You would have been housed with other individuals like that because I know what happens in prison. They house these individuals or these wrong'uns together who can't speak English. They all get put together so they can communicate with each other. And he's suffering with his mental health. Well, wow, what about his poor victim? What about her mental health? It is to your credit that you are using your time in custody constructively to improve your education and that you are an enhanced prisoner. So how can you be using this time to improve his education if English is not his first language and he's struggling? And there's English teachers teaching the fucking education courses. Make it make sense, you pathetic bunch of idiots. Judge Barry noted the violence used in the attack was extreme and the victim suffers from recurring nightmares. Now this is what should be brought to the attention about what the poor victim is going through, not what the predator is going through, and giving him sympathy for his time inside a prison. It is absolutely ludicrous. She cannot sleep, the judge added. Ola, listen how bad this is. Ola knocked his victim to the ground, strangled her, and assaulted her multiple times. Judge Barry informed Ola he has not shown any remorse and continues to perceive himself as the unwilling victim. So if he's had to take her to trial, put that poor homeless woman, hopefully she got housed somewhere after the incident, put that poor woman through a trial. She had to endure every minute of that again just to make sure he got her guilty. And as the judge said, she wants fucking sacking her, taking off the council of fucking wronging herself. Judge Barry informed Ola he has not shown any remorse and continues to perceive himself as the unwilling victim. So what the fuck does that say? Unwilling victim. So he's trying to say she's done that to him? Come on, Barry, Judge Barry. Why are you giving him any sympathy whatsoever when he's not shown any remorse to his victim? And he must have stood up there with his interpreter and made out that he was the victim and the homeless woman has forced him to do it. He was an unwilling victim. Imagine how that poor woman feels having to stand there, getting prosecuted as well because his barrister would have been giving her some grief, as they do, trying to get the colleagues off. So she must be going through a horrid time. I hope she gets some peace now, knowing that he's been sentenced to 15 years inside of prison. Ismat Ullah. That's him there. Me walking amongst the other prisoners, but I tell you what did shock us, if you have a look what it says underneath. I had to double check because they've made a misprint there to put Ismat Ullah has been jailed for 15 months. Please don't tell us that of getting it wrong and it's 15 months and not 15 years, which, according to the way the judge has been talking, I wouldn't put it past her. All the sympathy that she's given. You've had a bad time inside a prison, I'll give you a 15-month sentence. Absolutely ludicrous. I do think and hope it's 15 years. But they've made a misprint in that article there. And I do not feel sorry for him. I hope he does endure the worst and the hardest time inside a prison. And I do hope prison justice comes his way, because predators like that do not deserve any sympathy from any individual whatsoever. But I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. But like I say, when I came on here with this news up, I'm absolutely gobsmacked at the amount. Like, this is, look, prison. It's the prison news app. It gives you the daily updates on what's happening inside of prison, and 10 of the top articles rather are all bacons. Like sometimes I want to come on here and do a different story about prison. I've got some requests of individuals inside the prison who want bacons, and I'm waiting to do videos for them. There's 2 individuals, I'll not mention them, but we'll keep it for the videos. But when I come on, open my laptop and look at the headlines, I'm fucking gobsmacked at the amount of bacons. And that's why I bring you the good news about prison justice and what these predators are suffering inside a prison. But I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you are still enjoying the content. And if you are, remember to comment, like and subscribe. Take care, everyone. And most importantly, stay safe.